Good morning, students. Today we have another very interesting topic of English language. This is a part of one of our literature lessons which we have already covered. That is The Boy Who Saved Holland. Okay, so we have already started the lesson and we have done the reading exercise 1 and 2, that too in our notebooks. So now what we are left with is the grammar part of the lesson. There are a lot of grammar exercises which we couldn't cover because of time constraint. So today we will be covering all those exercises. All these exercises which I will be mentioning right now will be done in a grammar notebook. English grammar notebook you will be making and doing this exercises. I will be explaining at the end of this lesson also how to go about with it. Okay, so the first topic that's there in our grammar part behind the chapter is this table. Okay, so this table is basically giving us a lot of new words to increase our vocabulary. Now these words are related to the chapter. How were they related to the chapter? The chapter which is based on Holland, and these Hollanders, the people residing next to the sea, how their lives are affected by the sea. Okay, the waves of the sea. And these waves which are in turn affected by the wind. So what kind of winds are there? We are going to consider all the vocabulary words. Okay, so the first is light breeze. Okay, so what is light breeze? Light breeze is something which has a speed of 6 to 11 kilometers per hour and it is called a force to wind. Okay, so these give rise to small wavelets, very small wavelets, and don't make much of a difference in the surrounding environment. Okay, then we have a strong breeze. Okay, so then the speed of the wind increases over here. It is called as force 6 type of wind, and these can make a little larger kind of waves and at the same time bring about a few branches to move. Okay, then we have gale. Now gale is something which is a very strong wind. Okay, now in this kind of a case, sometimes you will kind of witness leaves kind of flying and twigs getting broken from trees. So this kind of experience you will be getting in the case of a gale. Then you have a storm, then a violent storm, and finally a hurricane. Okay, so these are the extreme versions of wind. Okay, in their case you will be witnessing high waves, and in some cases these waves kind of affecting the environment on the coastal areas, in a way destroying the buildings, destroying the plantations, trees. So such an experience will be generated out of these strong winds. Okay, so now we come to know that something which we generally term as wind has lot of versions. All these versions are these different vocabulary words. Okay, this is for our general knowledge and for so that we can utilize it in our English language. Okay, the next thing that we had to cover in our lesson was interrogative pronouns. Now this is something on page number 59. It has got couple of exercises along with it. So first I will explain this. Okay, so what are interrogative pronouns? Okay children, we are aware of nouns, right? So pronouns are used in place of nouns. Okay, so let's have an idea about it now. A pronoun is a word we use in place of one or more nouns. Very simple to understand. The first point, interrogative pronouns are pronouns used to ask questions. Okay, so basically words that are used in place of noun, and second, they are asking question. Okay, so which are the examples? Who, what, which, and whose. We will be using them in our sentences as well. So it is quite clear children, right? Interrogative pronouns are words that are used in place of noun and give rise to question, and these are the words which are used. Let's study them in examples. Okay, how do we use them? Now who refers to a person? For example, who is Henrik? Okay, so this kind of version is basically helping us understand the idea of pronoun being used as noun in a question form. What refers to things or ideas. Which refers to person, thing or ideas. Which of these boys saved Holland? So which can be related to ideas, to things as well as to a person. So all these questions, when they are framed with the help of pronouns, then they are known as interrogative pronouns. Who's to show possession? Okay, so we understand over here, children, that these interrogative pronouns are basically helping us to frame clearer questions. Okay, some of these words can also be used as adjectives. Now, which words are they talking about? They are talking about these examples which we just studied. Whose, what, which. Okay, they can be used as adjectives as well, right? So that can be quite confusing for us. But an adjective is followed by a noun or pronoun, whereas a pronoun is used instead of a noun. Okay, so for example, which book are you reading? Okay, so which over here is an adjective followed by the book noun. So which over here is an adjective. It is not a pronoun. Why? Because it is followed by a noun over here. We have a noun. Whereas in the case of pronoun, you will be placing it in the position of noun, not before the noun. Okay, I hope that is quite clear, children. There are several books here. Which do you mean? So which over here is clearly taking the position of noun. So this is what interrogative pronouns are. It is on page number 59 of your textbook. You have 2 exercises based on it. I want you all to attempt it, and these 2 exercises, answers will be attached in the PDF and shared with you all. But you have to do these 2 exercises in your English grammar notebook. Thank you, children.